I remember one specific deal a few years back that we co-led with one of our partners, and it was a company in the cheese business, of all things, and a nice family-run business for several decades. Uh, Over the last few years, I think a few years prior to the actual transaction, that company developed relationships with strategic buyers in the category, along with financial buyers in the category, and they actually um, were offered terms many years prior to the deal, and they declined. But the point of all that was, they were able to get a sense of where they stood in the market and what were the key drivers of value. And so years later, when we engaged them, we kind of went through all these steps in this entire process, and of course had that short list of previous interested parties that they had spoken to. Over time, built trust, built relationships, and when the time was right, we were able to reactivate those buyers very, very quickly and bring them to kind of a crescendo in the process. And so it made life much easier for them and for us as bankers. But very quickly, we were able to go to market, and attract a large set of potential buyers, utilizing the knowledge we had and the information we had from some of those relationships they had grown over time, and really maximize value. So during that path as well, they got their house in order. They were able to do things in the business that drove value. And from the first offer we received to the end of the process, the initial offer price was elevated by 40%. And that is not an exaggeration. And that meant tens of millions of dollars in value that, of course, trickled right down directly to the family and the owners of the company. So there's huge advantages to preparing for this over time and having those deeper conversations in the market, getting the house in order, right? Building a business model that's more attractive. This case is specifically huge brand value and awareness in the market that made it very attractive to a lot of players that knew the space. And so, kind of going through some of these steps today and preparing these slides, Tim, this case study to me jumped out, but it's probably one of our biggest wins in terms of owner value, owner valuation, and maximizing that over time in terms of us guiding that client to this outcome. We're very, very proud of that. So it does happen, maybe not to that level every single time, but we know the triggers, and we understand the levers to push and pull here to get it to that point. So it was a great story.
Awesome. And
Yep.
and that is the theme of today's webinar, which is how to increase your business's valuation by 20 to 50%. So having a case study by 40% is it's right on the money.